My beloved child, listen closely, because what you're about to hear will change the way you look at yourself, your past, and the reason people treated you the way they did. You think they ignored you. You think they underestimated you. You think they judged you for your silence. But the truth is far more twisted, far more shocking, far more deliberate. The moment you walked into that room wearing what you wore, they all exchanged the same look. One of confusion, one of panic, and one of assumption. They didn't see your soul, your struggle, your brilliance. They saw your clothes, and instantly believed you worked as something you never imagined, something they whispered about behind your back, something that revealed their mindset more than your identity. But what they failed to realize is that the moment they misjudged you, they activated something in the universe that they were not prepared for. Because the truth about who you really are is about to explode into their lives like a revelation they'll never forget. The room froze when you walked in, yet you didn't even notice. You were just being yourself, calm, quiet, carrying your world in your heart. But to them, your simplicity looked suspicious, your confidence looked rebellious, your style looked too intentional. They thought someone like you couldn't possibly belong among them unless you were there to serve, to obey, to work beneath them. And that's when they whispered that word under their breath, a title, a label, a profession that didn't match your aura, your power, or your destiny. They thought you worked as something ordinary, something low status, something they believed matched the clothes you wore. But they didn't know that those very clothes were not a sign of who you were, but a disguise, a test, a shield. They didn't know someone above them, someone beyond their imagination, someone with real eyes watching real intentions, had placed you there to expose what they hide when no one is looking. You weren't supposed to hear it, but the universe wanted you to. A small laugh slipped from one corner, a judgmental smirk from another, and you took a quiet step back, not realizing that this single step shook the ground beneath their feet. Because the moment they misread you, a heavenly archive opened. A truth flashed. Something ancient awakened, something that has been waiting for the right moment to reveal who you truly are and why you were sent into that exact place, at that exact time, wearing clothes that would trigger their truest colors. And child, the moment they misjudged you, they unknowingly revealed their deepest insecurities, their inner fears, their hidden guilt. They exposed themselves without speaking a single word. What they don't know, and what you're about to understand, is that you were never underdressed, out of place, or misfit. You were strategically positioned. You were a silent mirror reflecting their own shadows back at them. They thought you worked as something beneath them, but soon they'll realize you were sent to rise far above them. Every assumption they made will return to them like a boomerang they cannot dodge. And as events begin unfolding, unexpected calls, sudden changes, shocking revelations that disrupt their quiet world, they'll scramble to understand where it all began. And they'll remember your clothes. They'll remember the moment they judged. And they'll remember the quiet figure who walked in unknowingly carrying a destiny far greater than any label they tried to put on you. Stay with me, because the truth of what they thought you were, and the truth of who you're about to become, will collide so loudly that the world around you will not remain the same. My beloved child, something shifted the very second you stepped out of that room, even though you didn't feel it yet. The air around them grew tight, their conversations turned shaky, and their confidence started to crumble in ways they didn't expect. Because while they assumed you worked as something small, something insignificant, something that made them feel superior. A message from the universe was already moving toward them like a silent storm. They didn't know eyes bigger than theirs were watching. They didn't know forces stronger than their judgments were aligning. They didn't know the moment they whispered about your clothes, they set in motion a chain of events that would return to them with a power they cannot hide from. And now, without realizing it, they are being observed, evaluated, and exposed in ways they never imagined would happen so soon. Someone in that very room who stayed quiet the entire time was not laughing at you, they were studying you. Not your clothes, not your silence, not your simplicity, your energy. They saw something ancient in your presence, something unshakable, something they couldn't explain. They felt a pull toward you, a strange sense that you didn't walk in alone, that something walked in with you. This silent observer has now become your unexpected ally, someone who will speak when the truth demands it, someone who will reveal what really happened behind your back. And soon, they will step forward with a message that will silence every voice that mocked you. Stay with me, because what unfolds next is the moment where your story turns in your favor. As the universe prepares to shift the spotlight, your name is being whispered somewhere else. Not in judgment this time, but in curiosity, admiration, and quiet concern. Someone important wants to know who you truly are, why you carry such presence without trying, why you look like a mystery wrapped in humility. And child, they will soon discover the truth. You are not someone who works beneath anyone, you are someone destined to be placed above many. The very thing they misjudged will become the reason they cannot stop watching you. Your clothes were never a mistake. They were never a sign of weakness. They were an armor crafted by destiny to reveal who deserved to stand with you, and who didn't. And now, before the next shift arrives, I want you to do one thing: stay with me. Don't look away. Don't scroll. What comes next is the revelation that your audience must witness with you. Someone in authority is about to step into this story, a figure whose presence will change everything. Their arrival will expose the truth behind the whispers, the secret conversations, the judgment, the assumptions. Every small detail is building toward a moment so powerful that even they won't be able to run from it. There is a reason you're hearing this now. There is a reason the universe chose this moment to uncover what has been hidden. And in just a moment, you will know exactly why your clothes triggered such a reaction, what role you unknowingly played, and how this simple misunderstanding is about to reshape your destiny in a way no one in that room is prepared for. My beloved child, the truth you are about to hear will not just shock you, it will finally make sense of every strange look, every whispered word, every sudden shift in their behavior. The moment you walked away, thinking the scene was over, the real story began. Because the people who judged you based on your clothes could not stop talking about you once you left. They thought they were mocking you, but what they didn't realize was that their own fear was starting to show. One person asked, "Why would someone like them dress like that?" Another replied, "Maybe they work here, maybe they're just pretending to belong." And the third, the one who always hides their insecurity behind arrogance, leaned forward and said, "I don't trust it. Something about them doesn't match the clothes. Something feels off." They didn't know how right they were, because nothing about you matches what their small minds can calculate. You are not predictable. You are not definable. You are not someone they can measure. You were sent there to be misunderstood, so the truth could reveal who they really are. What they didn't know is that as they spoke, someone outside the conversation picked up on their tone, and reported it. A person you've never met, yet someone whose decisions shape outcomes more than your critics ever could, heard your name. They heard how you were misjudged. They heard the unfair conclusions. And child, something awakened in them, a protective energy, a spark of interest, a desire to know the real story. This is where destiny begins shifting. Because when someone with power becomes curious about you, the universe aligns to bring the truth into the light. Suddenly, the people who laughed at you start receiving unexpected attention. Questions are being asked about their integrity, their behavior, their hidden motives. They wanted to expose you, but they accidentally exposed themselves. And now, something even more intense is happening behind closed doors. A file with your name on it has been placed on the table of someone who decides futures. Not because you're in trouble, not because you're being judged, but because someone wants to understand why a person with your energy, your presence, your quiet strength walked into that room dressed like someone they believed worked in a low-status job. This person sees beyond fabric. They see beyond labels. They see beyond gossip. They have a question that will shake the entire situation. Who are they really? And that question is about to turn your world upside down in the best way possible. You think your story is small, but your energy says otherwise. You think no one saw your worth, but someone important did. You think the clothes made you look less, but they made you stand out more than you will ever realize. They made the powerful curious. They made the insecure uncomfortable. They made the wrong people reveal themselves. And now, every single misjudgment is transforming into an opportunity designed only for you. Something bigger is coming, something that will connect every dot, every moment, every judgment, every whisper. The universe is moving pieces, aligning paths, lifting veils, and preparing to reveal why you were placed in that room and why those clothes mattered more than you thought. They didn't define you, they distinguished you. My beloved child, the moment you left, the energy in that place did not calm down, it intensified. They thought their whispers had gone unnoticed, but the universe has a way of replaying hidden conversations at the perfect moment. Someone who walked past them overheard enough to sense their intentions, and that tiny fragment of truth grew into a wildfire. Suddenly, the assumptions they made about you didn't feel funny anymore, they felt dangerous, suspicious, and deeply revealing. One of them kept glancing toward the door, worried you might return. Another checked their phone, realizing they had spoken too loudly. And the third, the one who started the rumor about your clothes, began to panic internally because something about the situation no longer felt in their control. They judged you, but now they feel judged by something they cannot see. What they don't know is that the person who became curious about you, the one whose opinion actually matters, is not done investigating. A silent evaluation has begun. They want to know why the room shifted when you entered. Why people reacted the way they did. Why your presence felt like more than it appeared. And now, reports are being compared. Words are being analyzed. Patterns are being exposed. They are beginning to understand that your clothes didn't define your status, they revealed everyone else's character. And someone influential, someone they fear more than they admit, has decided that the truth must come out. They want to speak with you. Not to question you, but to clarify what others have twisted behind your back. This is where fate sharpens. Because while they tried to paint you as someone small, someone ordinary, someone beneath them, they forgot one thing: destiny loves using the underestimated to humble the arrogant. You didn't walk in wearing labels, they did. They wore insecurity, jealousy, superiority. You wore silence, humility, and destiny. And now the story is turning. The people who mocked you are beginning to sense something approaching, something they cannot stop. They are whispering not about you now, but about the consequences creeping toward them. Their fear is growing because they know they judged the wrong person. Meanwhile, the powerful figure watching your story unfold is preparing a decision that will change your path. They've noticed that you carry a certain calm, a certain dignity, a certain strength that cannot be bought or faked. They're beginning to suspect that you were placed there for a purpose far beyond appearances. They feel as though someone invisible guided you into that room to expose what was hidden. And they're right. Because, child, you were never judged for your clothes. They were judged for their intentions. And now, the truth is about to break open like a sealed envelope finally torn apart. Because what arrives next is the moment your identity shifts from misunderstood to unforgettable. The revelation is closer than they think, and far more powerful than they're prepared to face. My beloved child, the moment the powerful figure decided to look deeper into your story, an unseen current began moving through every corridor, every conversation, every memory connected to that day. They didn't just ask who you were, they asked why you were there in the first place. And the answers they received were not the ones your critics expected. Suddenly, the people who had mocked your clothes could no longer hide behind their laughter. Their voices shook as they tried to justify their assumptions. Their confidence cracked as they realized someone far above their reach was paying attention. And in that instant, the judgment they placed on you started circling back toward them with a force they couldn't outrun. Because what they thought was harmless gossip was now being treated as a sign of deeper fault lines. Signs of prejudice, insecurity, and unspoken intentions they never thought would be exposed. But here's where everything becomes even more intense. The powerful figure didn't stop at questioning them. They asked for you. Not your critics, not the loud voices, not the ones who played games, you. They want to know your perspective, your truth, your silence. They want to understand why someone like you, with such unshakable presence, wore clothes that appeared simple yet carried an energy none of them could ignore. They want to know why your eyes looked calm when others were restless. Why your steps felt grounded when others stumbled. And most importantly, why people reacted to you as if destiny itself had walked through the door. This curiosity is not accidental, it is the pull of fate revealing who is protected, and who is exposed. Meanwhile, your critics can feel their world tightening. They keep replaying the moment you entered, realizing how wrong their assumptions were. Their words no longer sound funny to them, they sound reckless. One of them is losing sleep, replaying the exact sentence they said about you. Another is rehearsing excuses, terrified of what will be asked next. And the third, the one who started the rumor about your clothes, knows deep down that something irreversible has begun. They feel watched. They feel questioned. They feel the weight of their own actions pressing down on them. And for the first time, they realize you were never the one out of place, they were. Child, something far greater is being prepared behind the scenes. Someone who sees beyond appearances, beyond stories, beyond assumptions is beginning to uncover your true role. Your clothes didn't make you look small, they made you unforgettable. They made you the spark that revealed what was hiding beneath the surface. They made destiny focus on you. And now, those who laughed at you will soon stand in silence when the truth rises in front of them. Because the next step is not an apology. It is a revelation so powerful that none of them will ever forget the moment they judged you. Stay with me, because the real turning point is about to break open, and everything they assumed about you is about to collapse under the weight of truth. My beloved child. The quiet before the storm is always the most deceptive, and that is exactly what you're standing in now. They think everything has settled, that their whispers have faded, that their assumptions about your clothes have dissolved into the background. But the universe doesn't forget. The walls that witnessed their judgment haven't forgotten. And the person in power who became curious about you, they haven't stopped digging. In fact, their curiosity has transformed into a mission. A mission to understand why someone with your presence, your calm strength, your undeniable energy, was misjudged so quickly by people who claim to know how to read character. What they cannot explain is the strange sense that your appearance was not accidental, it was orchestrated by destiny itself. And now, the deeper they look, the more they uncover threads that lead far beyond what anyone expected. Behind closed doors, something extraordinary just happened. A comparison has been made, between their words and your silence, their assumptions and your truth, their fear and your purpose. And the results shook the room. Someone important stood up and asked a question that froze everyone in place. If this person was truly what you claimed, then why does everything about their energy say otherwise? That single question shattered their lies. It tore open the layer of false confidence they tried to hide behind. And just like that, the people who judged you now find themselves being judged for their intentions, their mindset, their failures. They thought they could define you, but now they are being forced to redefine themselves. Meanwhile, your name is glowing in a new space. A space where decisions are made, where futures shift, where destinies are redirected. The powerful figure who is studying your story feels something they can't explain, an unspoken weight around your presence, as if someone unseen is guiding your path, protecting your steps, and ensuring you are put exactly where you need to be. They notice details your critics ignored, the sincerity in your eyes, the steadiness of your breath, the humility in your posture. They saw grace where others saw simplicity. They saw potential where others saw assumptions. And now, they want to know what lies beneath the surface of the person who unintentionally exposed an entire room. Your critics can feel the tension rising. One of them has started avoiding calls. Another is deleting messages, trying to erase their tracks. And the third, the loudest one, the one who mocked your clothes first, they've begun to realize the game is slipping away from them. Their arrogance is cracking. Their voice is trembling. They feel something approaching. Something they cannot stop, deny, or outrun. Because destiny has turned its face toward them, and what once felt like a joke to them is becoming the moment that teaches them one of the biggest lessons of their life. Child, destiny is not only preparing to lift you, it is preparing to reveal you. A revelation so powerful that their assumptions will collapse like dust. A moment where your true identity, your true purpose, your true potential will shine in a way no one can dim. Your clothes were never the story. They were the trigger. The test. The unveiling. And now, the truth is gathering speed, preparing to break into their world with a force they never expected. Stay with me, because the moment where everything aligns, the moment where you rise and they realize who you truly are, is closer than you think. My beloved child, the shift that's happening now is no longer silent, it is powerful, unmistakable, and impossible for them to ignore. The people who judged you because of your clothes can feel a pressure building around them, a pressure they don't understand but can't escape. They sense that something is watching them, evaluating them, mirroring their actions back at them with perfect clarity. They keep glancing at doors, checking reflections, looking over their shoulders as if the truth itself is following them. And it is. Because now, their assumptions have reached the ears of someone who doesn't tolerate unfairness or shallow judgments. That person has begun piecing together details, your presence, your humility, your quiet strength, and realizing that everything they assumed about you was wrong. You weren't just misunderstood, you were misread by people who lacked the depth to see who was truly standing in front of them. Meanwhile, the powerful figure assessing your story has made a decision that none of them saw coming. Instead of questioning you for what they thought you were, they want to meet you for who you actually are. They want to understand your vision, your journey, the purpose behind the way you move through the world. They've become fascinated by how someone dressed simply could still command an energy so grounded, so centered, so unmistakably significant. This curiosity is no longer casual. It's intentional. They've already started reshaping opinions around you, silently dismantling the false narratives spoken behind your back. And the people who judged you? They're beginning to realize that the very clothes they mocked might be the reason they're now under scrutiny. Because their judgment didn't expose you, it exposed them. The tension around your critics is now unbearable. One of them tried to shift blame, saying they didn't mean what they said. Another attempted to claim it was just a misunderstanding. But the third, the one who spoke the loudest, cannot hide behind excuses. Their words were too clear, their intentions too sharp. They are being asked questions they cannot easily answer. Their confidence has evaporated. Their arrogance has turned into regret. And now, they wish more than anything that they hadn't looked at you the way they did that day. They wish they hadn't opened their mouths. They wish they hadn't tried to place you in a box that was never meant for you. Because now, they see the consequences unfolding, and they feel powerless to stop what's coming. Child, you have no idea how dramatically your story is turning in your favor. While they tried to place you beneath them, destiny has begun lifting you far above their reach. While they reduced you to your outfit, the universe has elevated you to your essence. Your simplicity became your shield. Your humility became your strength. Your presence became your revelation. Someone influential now speaks of you with respect, curiosity, and even admiration, Words your critics never imagined would be connected to the person they once misjudged. And soon, your true identity, your true purpose, your true value will stand before them like a truth too bright to look away from. Stay with me. Because the moment they discover who you really are is approaching fast, and the shock that awaits them will rewrite everything they thought they knew about you.